So this morning I had a meeting with a new friend that is a long-term real estate investor, and we got to talking, and it was fun conversation, kind of the reminiscing and talking through the challenges and the pitfalls. And this person has invested substantially more than myself, so it was interesting getting their perspective, but also living in the front lines of the management side of it was also. I realized that I did have a unique perspective to see there as well. And we got on the topic of pain points in the market right now and the challenges. We talked about the struggle with rentals and getting rentals rented as fast as we had in the past. Things changing by way of qualifications for tenants are making things harder. As I mentioned in a video a few weeks ago, for every 5 people that we used to show a property, we get one lease. Now it's up to 10, right? And it's because of qualifications. It's because of those challenges. We also talked about other pain points that we're seeing on the rental side, and one of those is the maintenance stuff, right? The cost of maintenance, and the cost is almost in certain situations becoming prohibitive from continuing to maintain and manage these properties in a way that makes it a win across the board when it comes to how much you're making, in return on the property. So between those two, which ties into vacancy, right? So you got the vacancy from renting this property out, and then you've also got this element of, hey, when we have to do, let's call it property turns, or when there's an issue at your home. Let's say there's a plumbing leak, or there's a water heater that needs to be replaced. How do we deal with that? And with these pain points, what are the things that we need help with? Well, from a property management owner standpoint and a investor standpoint, straight up, like, I love getting deals. I love the deal myself. I love getting deals for our clients. I want great service, but I want to pay a fair price, right? As do you. What we're seeing in the market is a shift to a sales model for a lot of companies. And that sales model drives up the pricing, right? You'll find some of these higher, let's call it higher marketed, stronger marketing packages and budgets around companies that do have this more sellers model. And ideally, in our business, I want companies that work with property management companies. What does that mean? Well, it means that they pretty much cut their teeth like we did on getting referrals. Referrals build the business. Referrals mean that the marketing department that we need to have to solicit to new clients is not as strong, which means that the budget is lower on that end, which means that I can keep our prices lower and more realistic, because we don't have all of this money we have to spend on ads and online marketing and all of these different things, because the way that the phone rings is not by spending a bunch of money and getting that phone to ring. We find that those are the vendors that align with us a little more, because when they walk into your home, they're not looking at all the other things that they could profit on. When they show up at your house to fix your toilet, they're not then going in there and saying, hey, tell me about your water heater. How old is it? They're not saying, do you have a soft water system? Do you have and it's like, yeah, hold on. I do. I have all those things, but I'm asking you to fix my toilet because my toilet's overflowing, and because my kid dropped something in it, or whatever it is, right? So I think when one of the pain points and what I'm seeing in the market right now is there is definitely a gap between the prices that we'll pay with one vendor versus the next, and understanding that difference, understanding why, is super important, because one might not offer a better service than the next. They just might have higher costs. So those costs mean that they're going to have to charge you more, because they might be a little more popular, or they might have a better jingle, or whatever that might be, but it doesn't mean necessarily that they're a better vendor. So, hey, with that, if you have a great vendor that you'd love to recommend, whether they pay for amazing advertising or not, I'd love to talk to them. I always love good relationships with owners of those types of companies, because in one way or another, like, we can support each other, and it can be a mutually beneficial relationship, whether or not we decide to break bread and work together. But again, it can just be another opportunity for us to see what else is out there and what's being offered. I appreciate you watching. Again, it's hot out there this week, so AC companies are working overtime. Hopefully you haven't had too many issues on your AC this year like some of us have, but again, appreciate you watching and look forward to chiming in again next week. I will see you.